Hey, hey, hey. Hey, it's Dr. Tartt checking in, tapping in with Dear Fathers. We have a treat for you tonight. We're waiting on people to come in, so come on in. We're excited about having y'all here this evening. I see y'all coming in. I see Callie. I see you, Ian K. I see you, Javon Murphy Sr. and Lady D. I see Tiffany So Sweet. Y'all are coming in to Dear Fathers, where we talk about we talk about fatherhood. We talk about marriage. We talk about everything that's positive when it comes to being a phenomenal father. So tonight, I'm Dr. Tartt, a Christian clinical psychologist. So what is that? That means that I am a psychologist with a faith base. That's all that means. So tonight, we're going to be talking about fatherhood. And I have a brother who's a dear friend of mine who's going to be joining us shortly. I'm going to introduce him. And he's an amazing brother. All right. I'm gonna tell the story when I see him come in. But I partnered with Dear Fathers to bring y'all amazing fathers, because people say we don't see great examples of fathers in the media. And that's just simply something that Dear Fathers is absolutely offended by. And they're going to bring you different fathers from different walks of life, right? So I'm excited about it. All right. So tell me where y'all are checking in from. I'm based here in the Atlanta, Georgia area, where we are praying that our Hawks can somehow, some way, find a way to win 2 games. All right. Find a way to win 2 games. All right. I'm excited about it. All right. So let's see. All right, so I see y'all coming in. Boston's coming in the building. All right, there he is. Miami's in the building, Jack. We're asking them where they're checking in from Cali. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, y'all. I represent Georgia and Cali, right? My wife's from California. Does that count? Does that count as me being?
No.
That don't count.
No.
What about if I lived in California? All right. I
Yeah.
lived in California. She lived in California as a child. I lived in California as an adult. So I'm repping West Coast. All right, repping
Okay.
West Coast.
Okay.
All right, so here it is. All right. So my brother has joined us, and for those of you tuning in for the first time, Dear Fathers is an organization that celebrates phenomenal fathers from across the globe internationally, because there's a narrative out there that fathers are not on the scene. And Dear Fathers wants to debunk that myth and highlight really phenomenal fathers. So I have a brother who's near and dear to me who's joining us today. His name is Jack A. Daniels. Jack A. Daniels, right? And Jack is a phenomenal brother, all right? Not only is he a millionaire mentor and master coach, this is one of the top speakers in the world. If your fee does not start with 5, 6 digits, he ain't gonna pick up the phone. He's real nice and kind, but this brother has the receipts. He's even partnered with his wife to do things in the faith-based space, as well as really train speakers at a high level. This brother is good at marriage. This brother is phenomenal at parenting. I'm gonna tell you why. This brother is phenomenal at being funny and entertaining. He's been on every TV show known to me: Real Housewives of Atlanta, Black Love. This man has been everywhere. He's the breakthrough king. He also celebrity therapist. So if you're looking for someone that's going to tell you the truth, he's can deal with any personality. That's my brother, Jack A. Daniels. However, his claim to fame is this man has produced not one, not two, but three. He has triplets, y'all.
Oh,
He
man.
has 3 girls, y'all. So pray for my brother. I want y'all to show some love for my brother, the Jack A. Daniels, father of 3,
Oh,
husband,
man.
phenomenal speaker,
Oh, man.
bad brother. Give it up for Jack A. Daniels, y'all.
Oh,
Give it up.
man.
Give it up.
Oh, man.
Show some love. Show some love.
Man. You hurt me right now. I just need to put you in my pocket and carry you around. And when it's time for me to come on stage and do something, I need to whip you out.
Let me just get 1/5 of that fee, brother. Are you ready to rumble? Let me just get 1/5 of that fee, brother, and I got you. I can take you to another level, man.
I love it. Thank
Yeah.
you for having me, brother. Thank you.
No,
Thank you
Jack,
so much.
thanks for doing this. I know literally how busy you are when it comes to business, but also you are one of those dads that's hands on deck with your 3 girls.
100%. Yes.
100%.
Yeah. I'm not one of those guys that doesn't know what's going on with his kids. I'm like in it every day, every morning, every like afternoon, night. Like I'm in it, like 150%. It's not just, you know, mom does all of this. I know I do it all. Diapers, rashes, like feeding. I'm talking about the throw ups, the spit ups, the everything.
With Jack, let me stay right there. Let me stay right there because I want to ask you about that. So, in preparing to be a father,
Yeah.
right? Where did you learn how to be a father? Was your dad a good example? Did you have to make this up on your own? What's your father's story that prepared you for what you're doing currently?
You know, I come from a long line of good dudes, like good men, good fathers, good husbands, and from my grandfather who had nothing but a second grade education. And he raised 11 kids.
Whoa.
Yeah, nine of them were girls.
All right, we see what's going on now, brother.
Yeah, so I mean, and from my other grandfather who did the exact same thing, and everyone had a strong work ethic all the way down to my father. Now, I will say this, and when you ask that question, I can say, looking back, I don't think my dad was a great dad. And the reason I say that is because my dad was there,
Mhm.
but he wasn't present. So I think there's a huge difference when like my parents were married for 43 years. They
Okay.
stayed together, but in terms of being present as a dad, I don't think my dad was fully there. Now it's not to say that he wasn't he didn't provide, he didn't protect us, he didn't do some of those things, but I'm saying from a dad perspective, the way that I'm taking daddy, he was there, he was present, but he wasn't present. He was kind of like checked out in a
Did you know
sense.
that
I did not. I didn't know that I didn't know that as a kid. But I'm saying, looking back at it, I realized some of the things that he could have done a little bit better as a dad. Now I don't fault him. He raised us. He got us to where we needed to be. He taught us a lot of great things in terms of manhood and in terms of what we needed to be able to survive from, you know, the simple things of fixing a car or fishing or
Mhm.
cutting the grass and getting a job, having great work ethic to be able to say to yourself that, you know, get off your butt and go do something. Like he was very entrepreneurial. He had several things going on. But in terms of when I say present, I mean emotionally present as a man. And I think I missed that lesson from manhood from him. And I think I got it from other men, but I didn't get it from my dad.
Let me check in with Dear Father's community. How many of you all, just drop it in chat if you feel comfortable, because Jack is very transparent. How many of you had dads who were present? All right, was your dad present or not present? Because we're going to get into a high level conversation about how you learn how to father. Because there's this myth that if you did not get it from your dad, or you don't know how to do it. You hear it all the time, don't you, Jack? Well, my
Yeah.
father
Oh
did,
man.
and it's
Yeah.
valid. But you see a brother here that's just being totally transparent about, nah, I'm having to change the way I do parenting based on something else than what I saw.
I
Now,
did. I
did you
did.
talk? Did you and Dad have y'all had a? Okay, someone said until I was 13, and then he moved with my mom, right? So there's some brothers out there who had access to a dad up to a certain point. Other brothers chiming in saying not present, you know. And so,
Yeah.
Jack, you're the perfect guest tonight because we see not you saying the not presence are coming in. Brothers are opening up, which is
Mm-hmm.
what this
Mm-hmm.
is about. This is about, you know, straight mental. This is about us being open and honest about our emotions and our feelings as men. Jack, talk to me about when did it come to your realization that there was a different level of fathering that was needed?
You know, now you know this very well. I did a lot of like tours and books and all that kind of stuff. And I remember I was doing this book. It was my fifth best-selling book called "I Need a Wife." Where the real women at? That's a whole different story. Y'all go get that later. And I was doing, and I wanted to know what men were actually thinking. So I did these focus groups and surveys and interviews, and I had this focus group of 30 guys in a circle. And I'm trying to figure out like what's going on in the hearts of real men, because I really want to figure out where the disconnect was in terms of commitment. Now, this question, I don't ask simple questions. I ask some real complicated questions. And I asked a question. I went around the room and I asked a question. I said, so by show of hands, how many of you in this room have had sex with a woman that you're not married to and have purposely tried to get her pregnant? I'll ask it again. I'll ask it again because
He
I think it's good.
boy, where my water?
How many of you have had sex with a woman, like, and have purposely tried to get her pregnant? 28 out of the 30 hands in the room went up in the air, and I'm like, as a therapist, I'm like, yo, what happened? And if I had to be truthful, my hand went up in the air too. So I went around the room and I'm checking these brothers, and I'm like, well, why did you do that? And it was, it was a few guys that were like, well, I never saw an example of what manhood was. So I figured if I had a child, I could learn how to be a dad. There's another one that said, well, dudes in the block told me that if the more babies I have, the bigger man I am, right? So, you see some of those broken thinking patterns. And I'm like, okay, so it's another cat sitting in the corner. I go all the way around the room. He ain't saying nothing. He's trying to avoid eye contact, everything, looking down.
Okay.
I said, bro, what's up, man?
That's the one you
He
call
said,
on.
yeah, he's like, I wasn't gonna answer. And he said, when I was growing up, my mother told me, don't you ever bring anything as black as you into this house.
Oh.
I said, wow. And he said, so the first thing he did was go out and get into the first interracial relationship he could get into, just so he can get that woman pregnant and bring a baby home to make his mother proud.
Wow.
You keep going around the room, and then, God said, when my dad wasn't there, I had really bad examples, and I just wanted to be a better father. That was now I hadn't had kids yet, but it was an eye-opening experience for me to see there's some hurt brothers in this room, and I had to question myself. Why was I trying to get a woman that I wasn't married to pregnant on purpose? Deep down inside, it was this thing inside of me that said, I want to be a better dad than my dad. Now, I never questioned.
Were you conscious of it? Like,
I wasn't conscious of it. I wasn't
Okay.
conscious. But when I asked the question to everybody, and they coming out and saying these things that are really heartfelt, I'm like, wow, why was I doing that? And I wanted to be a better dad than my dad. And I never consciously, verbally, or vocally said that out loud. And when I said it out loud, I said something was wrong with my relationship with my father. Even though he was there, why do I want to be better than him? If he was there, he should have been the best guy that I ever knew. And here I am taking my resentment out on women who have no real connection to. Now, hold on, let me clarify that. It ain't like multiple women. I'm just spitting up there, right?
Okay. Clear it up, brother. Clear it up.
But it was like, it was a couple that I know I had purposely tried to I'm gonna get you pregnant. Like
what was supposed to happen next, man? You had me on the edge of my seat. So it had happened.
So I guess it would have validated my belief that I could be better. I could do better than him if I had a child right then and there. Like if I had a child, I had a chance to prove that I could be better. I think that was the underlying thing inside of me. And maybe it was a competitive thing, maybe it was a resentment thing, it was an anger thing. But I knew and I recognized that I was doing it. And I think a lot of brothers don't even realize why they do what they do because they haven't asked themselves the deeper questions.
When did that shift? How did you, because I know what they're thinking. How did you come out of that mindset of resentment and being okay with getting someone pregnant? When did you shift into a higher level of manhood or maturity? What was the
Yeah,
light that switched on, Jack?
I was in the whole phase. That's all. I mean, I literally.
I never had one of those brothers. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I
But
was
go ahead.
I was in a whole phase, man, and I think that I literally had to. I woke up and I knew I was fresh out of a divorce, and I was trying to prove who I was. And I felt like if I could validate my existence by spreading my seed, it would at least say, "Here I am. I'm man enough
Mm.
to be here and to have a seed and to take care of the seed." But I think it was childish, it was immature, and it was a sense of pride and ego, and I needed to get out of that. And it was selfish, totally selfish. And once I got through um, the realization of it was me being selfish with who I was, it had nothing to do with the women. It had everything to do with me recognizing that I needed to work on me. So once I came out of that, I then started looking for someone that I can build with, not from the sense of just uh, uh, I need like sex or something to prove, but I needed a family. I wanted a wholehearted family.
How do you go from I'm using your words, Jackson? Don't punch me. How do you
That's
go from
okay.
whole face to
Yeah,
wanting to settle down?
I think it was three things. Three
Okay.
things. One was clarity. And clarity meaning that I needed to get clear about who I was. I was lost. I didn't have any. I had a lost sense of direction and identity, and I needed to get clear about who I was. And the second thing was I needed a level of exposure to good dudes doing good things and having good outcomes by having families and seeing and I seen that my entire life. But because I was broken and the family unit that I tried to construct had broken and it broke in me, I was like, maybe this ain't for me. But the level of exposure that I saw that reignited and reconnected me to who it was that I was gave me the examples and the exposure that I needed. And then it was this level of the third thing is expectancy. I had this newfound love of myself, but I also knew what I wanted. And I don't think I like it. Sometimes in life, as men, like we just drift. We just
Yeah.
we just going through the motions, and we
Right.
have no clue what we want. And I had to get really, really crystal clear about what I wanted. I wanted a wife. I wanted a family. I wanted to be a good dad, and not because I resented my dad or resented my ex or hated women or anything like that. No, I just wanted to be a family dude and like be. I wanted to be a great husband and I wanted to be a great dad.
Did you you see the salute, man? I mean, you get mad love in the chat for being so
Oh, thank you.
transparent, Jack, and that's what I love about you. That's why I wanted to interview you because you so transparent and at the same time a strong man,
Appreciate
right?
appreciate
And
it.
you don't often it's there. We don't see it.
Mm.
I'm gonna go there, Jack. All
Go
right,
ahead,
because
man.
I
Let's
so
go
so
deep.
we come out of this phase of just women.
Hmm.
What do you look for when you were looking for a wife?
Oh,
Like coming out of that relationship and then going through a phase, do you create the type of woman that you're looking for and find her? Like, how do you do that?
I,
How do you go into wife phase? Everybody know how to find, we're not gonna say the word,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
how
yeah,
do you go
yeah.
in to find a wife? Because people think it's easy for us brothers. How
It's
do you
not.
go?
It's not. It is not. Every woman thinks that they're the wife. You're not the wife. But men know what a wife. Look, I used to talk about. You know this a long time. I used to talk about. There's three categories the men put women. It's the freak, the friend, and the forever. There's the freak, the friend, and the forever. We know who the freak is, and I just talked about it in my whole phase. The friend is that person that you can just depend on, She friend zone, you like her, you talk to her, but the forever, you know the forever. So I heard somebody describe it this way the other day, and it totally like just hit me. I was like, okay, there's a difference between hot and beautiful. Like,
Okay. Okay.
like
Break it down.
when men see a woman that's hot, it's like, oh, she hot. But the thing in our mind is thinking, oh, I can smash her. I can like she's got this, she got everything right, like the hips, the lips, the thigh, like everything hitting, like she's hot, but she's not wifey material. Beautiful is different than hot. Beautiful is like this essence in this this aura of like inside and out. She has something about her that says she's loyal, that says she's trustworthy, she's committed, she's stable, she's prayerful, she's like this loving human being, and not just somebody I want to smash. This is someone that I can see being the mother of my children. And some women have that, and other women just they ain't got it.
Man, you know,
They,
it's women in here. They tapping in for dear fathers, and I don't blame them.
that's
Right,
okay.
right.
That's
All
okay.
right. I want to hear because I'm reading the chat, man. Because I know they're seeing this and they're like, I'm so confused, right? But you're telling the truth, man. If he's telling the truth, if y'all put women in the categories, the freak, the friend, and the forever, and if there's another level that you're looking for as a wife, chime in. Chime in and
Mhm.
drop that in the chat. Jack, for clarity for the sisters watching. All right, for clarity.
Okay. Okay.
Like what? Jael agrees with you. You know, our sister Jael is watching. She
Hey,
says
girl,
she agrees. She agrees.
I can't see the comments. I don't know why.
Okay. All right. Well, you know, I'll run point on that one. I'll run point on that one. While Jack is recycling. Well, but men, while you were hold on, I don't know what. Let's see where we go. Okay. So I guess we're waiting on Jack and the signal to get there. But while Jack is reloading, you know, his system, I'll keep going. It's incredibly intricate, right? Like when men are looking for, and Jack's gonna rejoin us in a second. When men are looking for a wife, it's a lot more complicated than just being hot. Now, I'll be honest, visually, we're definitely looking for hot. All right, we're looking for someone who's attractive, someone who's fine, someone who has confidence. Like it's not a body type for men. All right, it's the most confident woman in the room, and she can have multiple body types. But there's an essence of a wife. There's an essence of a wife that is that is needed, and that's what Jack was talking about. I guess he's getting his signal straight. I don't know if the triplets took over the phone. I don't know what Jack's gonna be logging back in, but you heard it from a brother that when he came out of his freak phase, he wanted a different caliber of woman. Brothers, can you relate? Can Jael is saying, yeah, you want more than just being fine. Fine is not enough. Fine is not enough, right? What we really want is a wife, and that is very complicated, very complicated. Um, all right, I see Jack. Jack is back. All right. So as Jack is logging back in, I'm gonna have him clarify how he actually knew that his wife was the one. All right. So Jack, I was just giving him some clarity and setting you up, brother, man. 'Cause I'm
Okay.
mad that you were gone, man.
My
I saw the
bad.
triplets.
Like I
I
was
know the
trying to see
triplets
the
was jumping,
comments, and it's
brother.
like I messed it up. I messed it
Yeah,
up.
so the brothers are saying it's very complicated. So how did you know that you had found your wife? And like, were there things that you saw in women you dated before you met Marshawn?
You know, I've been asked that question a lot, and I think that how do you like? And I know women want to know this answer. Like, how do you know when the one
It's
is?
already in the chat,
I
brother. It's
know, I
blowing
know.
up.
It's. I'm gonna say this. I believe when a man is ready to be married, there's a lot of things that a lot of things don't depend on you. It's not a lot of things that you could do. It really has to do with the man. Like if once he's ready and open to receive that level of love, that level of commitment, that level of expectation from someone that he wants to share his life with, it has to come from him. Now, some of the characteristics, those are going to be simple. Like, yes, was she caring? Was she attentive? Was she responsible? Was she loyal? Was she trustworthy? Was she all of those elements, and she gotta be fine, like somebody I want to wake up to, right? Like you gotta have that part. Like I
For
gotta be,
sure.
I gotta have some type of level of like, like attraction to her, and that's important. But what's really more important is I need to see my future with this woman.
Mm.
And I think for me, if I couldn't see a future, like if our goals didn't align, our visions didn't align, our personalities didn't align, can I laugh with you? Can I sit with you on the couch and say nothing and be cool? Can we just vibe and in the car without saying a word? Or just like we riding and you just ride with me. And sometimes I just need to ride. Can you do that with me? Just ride with me? Yes. Some women, yeah, I talk all the time. You talk too much. You just want to like yap, yap, yap.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
not me. And so for me, it really had to do with being in alignment with not just each other, but with assignments, but with our goals, our values, our vision, our principles, from from spiritual to individual to mental to like how do we align? And then I gotta look at you. Let me just
Yeah.
like make a plan. I need to look at you, and for a man, I need to envision you having gray hair. Like if I
Oh,
couldn't
I ain't
see
never
her,
heard this one, Jack.
I mean, if I couldn't see her with gray hair,
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to be with her. Why would I marry you and I can't see growing old with you? Like I need to see that vision of us like being together, whether it's traveling, whether it's retiring, whether it's
It's deep.
with the kids. But I looked at her and I saw gray hair with her. Like there were other women that I saw as they were temporary. I couldn't see them getting older. I couldn't see them with wrinkles in their face. I couldn't see them, with heaven forbid, a pot belly, or
But
a
because
little
of
bit of
something they
belly on.
did, or it just wasn't the God vision for you.
It wasn't. Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay. So it's just, I know that's frustrating to women. You say when you see her. But one of the things I gleaned from what you said is that you recognize a wife already. She's a wife when you meet her. I mean, you see,
Yeah.
okay, that's a wife. That's not a
100%.
girlfriend. That's not a freak. That's not a
Mm-mm.
friend.
Mm-mm.
That's a forever.
And you
And
know
the
what?
forever has
You
the
know
freaky
what?
friend in them.
She made me treat her like a wife.
You
Like,
said maid, brother.
oh yeah, she raised the bar and said,
How?
you're gonna treat me like a wife.
What did
Like
she say or do, brother? How did she come at you?
I think it was the way she wouldn't allow me to come at her. Don't come at me with that game. Don't come at me with that, smooth talking. None of like, nah, you gon' like we didn't have, this ain't for everybody. Let me say this real quick. This ain't for everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, we waited till we got married before we had
I'm
sex.
glad you said that because people don't think that's real.
It's real, man.
Hey, Jack, I know you. You ain't never had a problem getting a woman.
Nah,
So
man. Hey, pent up, brother. I was
that's why
like,
y'all had triplets, brother. That's why y'all got three to
hey
all.
man, explosion was real.
That's real. Since you transparent, Mecca and I'm gonna tell on her. Mecca and I waited, all right, for
Okay,
a
yeah.
period of time. I said, because I spoke to our buddy Kenny,
Uh-huh.
right? And I called people. I said, "Do y'all really wait, man? Is that real? I know we say it, but is it for real? For real?" And so many brothers were like, "Yeah, brother, I waited." Or if we didn't wait, I took a vow of celibacy because I didn't want to block my blessings with my wife.
That's what it was. That's it right there.
Right? And
That's what it
so
was.
like I'm gonna tell on her. I know I'm getting in trouble, but I pumped the brakes on Mecca. All right, Miss Inglewood. I said, chill. I'm not trying to block my blessings. I don't want you to, I'm sorry. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I would like for us to spend at least 6 months to a year, all right, of getting away from that, so that when we are married, it is something that's celebrated, by God.
But you know what was you know what that did for me, because it wasn't, and I'm gonna be like you better than me. You better. I tried.
Obviously not, brother.
I tried. I tried. No. I tried. Multiple times. She was a virgin, so she was. But so I respected that.
Okay.
But I did try. I ain't gonna lie. I tried. I pushed the envelope like a man did. I tried. I pushed it. But what it did for us, and maybe fellas, y'all can like, it forced us to be friends.
Mm.
I mean, it forced us to have better communication, and not just like when conflict and arguments happened, it forced us to not just like sex it out and then go to our separate corners, and when everybody's cool, like, I got my release, you got your release, we cool again, we like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now it made us talk out and become better friends. Like we were like literally the best of friends, because we had nothing in between that we can rely on to
Real.
get us out of each other's faces, like arguments or anything. Like, no, we really need to resolve this thing and not just push it or sweep it under the rug, like I've done in a lot of other relationships. Like, I'll go out of town, and I had somebody that was like, uh, 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 one of them out of town.
Right, I knew you gonna say.
What I'm saying. One of them, I call them long distance relationships, right? and I would go out of town. It'd be great honeymoon phase, like everybody like boom, 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 and then then we bump heads and we fighting and like we arguing, and I know in my head I can go home back to my corner, and she's gonna go to her corner, and we're gonna be okay. Plus, I know that once there's a sexual encounter, we'll be able to like just forget about it, and then I'll go home, and we don't really have to resolve
Yeah.
anything. But
Yeah.
with Marshawn, my wife, now, man, I had to work and not just like push things and sweep things away, and or go to the next woman, because I've done that before too, right? Like, this one ain't working. Oh, you too argumentative, you too aggressive, you too much work. Let me just go to the next one, and I don't have to work on myself and my issues.
Yeah.
I can just go to the next one and be done. Most men have done that. They
For
ain't
sure.
gonna admit it, but most of
But
us
they will
have
on
done
here. I mean, you don't see the comments, but they're saying it hard. The struggle is real. They
it. Yeah.
appreciate the gentleman's approach. That there are men out here who, when they're dating their wife, have a whole different schema, have a whole different idea. You even get love from the Ivory Coast in Africa, brother. You get shouts out from New York, and they're talking about, hey, people that say this is Cornell is saying it's true. It's very true, Jack. So
Good
people are
stuff.
feeling, they're feeling what you're saying, and I can certainly relate. I remember the worst feeling I ever had is when I was intimate with a woman that I knew liked me and I did not like her. All
Ooh.
right, and Jack, you know how you're not thinking about it and you can just feel that someone really likes you,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
right? And I was just like, what am I doing?
yeah.
Right? Like, I really just wanted to just stop and just disappear. Be like, just cancel this, cancel this. I don't want to be here right now. I don't want to be here right now. I don't want to be here. I have a change of heart. But how do you do that without hurting your feelings? But I never, and I've heard this, and you've heard this from the celebrities that you especially counsel, is that they
Yeah.
get tired of what's called empty sex. You
Mm-hmm.
can have
Mm-hmm.
variety, but it's empty. There's no substance to it.
It's,
There's
what's
no,
the
one
point?
brother said, just ride with me.
What's
Just
the
be
point?
cool riding in the
That's what I'm talking about, right?
car.
Like the substance part is what's missing. So if you can like Men love to be challenged.
For sure.
I don't care. Like we have been competitive since we've been boys. Like from racing to poles, I'm racing to this pole to that pole, to playing sports, to like I don't care, dominoes, cars, spades. We have been video games. We are extremely competitive, but when you challenge us to raise the bar for ourselves or for you, we gonna do it. But I think what's problematic is there are a lot of women that aren't challenging men. Y'all just give it in.
They
Like,
don't know. They don't know, because you think about it. And I'm gonna ask you this, Jack. Raising three girls. Give us the ages. Give the people the ages of your daughters for those.
so I got three. I got triplets, and they will officially be two at the end of this month. So like, I'm in that phase. I'm in the temper tantrum. Like, I don't know what I want. I don't know how to express my emotions. So I'm just gonna cry and have a fit face
Three the hard way,
at
brother.
the same time.
Oh
Same,
my goodness.
yeah.
Well, you know what? That's a good question. Like, and I'm gonna pivot back to that. What will you teach your daughters about men, boys,
Man,
when they get older? Have you started loading up the speeches, the
that's a
scenarios?
great question. The honest answer is, I don't know what I'm doing. I
I
think
think we all feel that way.
I know, but I think I'm okay saying it. I have no clue what I'm doing as dad. I think I'm doing a great job so far. But honestly, I get concerned that I'm not doing enough. I get concerned that, hey, I'm not reading enough. I'm not hugging you enough. I'm not kissing you enough. I'm not, giving you affirmations enough. I'm not giving you the time that you need individually, not just collectively, because that's a problem that I got with triplets. Like they're always together,
Yeah,
but like we need to treat them individually. What am I saying the right things to you? I know it's a pivotal age, and I know it's a pivotal time frame from like that 1 to 3. Am I saying the right things? Am I doing the right things as a man that's showcasing and highlighting what manhood is supposed to look like? I don't know, brother. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I wake up in the mornings and I'm like, did I tell him I love him enough? Did I
yeah,
did I did I hug him enough?
yeah.
Did I tell him daddy's proud of you? Like,
What's
I'm
driving
getting
that, Jack? What's driving that inner conversation about being enough or good enough for your girls?
man, because I know I've been doing this counseling thing for almost 20 years now, and the hurt that comes from fathers
Mm,
when you're talking to women who are struggling with self-esteem, confidence, relationship matters, like being enough. And it's not just women, it's men too. We all feel like, do I matter? Do I fit? Do I count? Am I enough? And to realize some of those things, the nucleus of that was what they didn't get in their childhood from whether it's their mother or their father, but specifically their fathers. They weren't loved enough. They weren't cuddled enough. They weren't heard enough. They weren't seen enough.
that's real.
And so for me, I don't want my daughters to be sitting on someone else's couch talking about what my father didn't do for me. And I think, and I don't know if I'm overcompensating or overthinking. I'm not gonna say overcompensating. I guess I'm thinking overthinking this. But I don't want them to question whether or not their dad was there,
Mm,
question whether or not their dad was present. And patience is a real a thing that I'm like, that's the thing I'm working on a lot. because it's easy for me to just be like, you know what, yeah, Lau, I'm just gonna walk out and be over here and let somebody else deal with this. But for
Yeah.
me, like patience to actually stand in, because I used to look at fatherhood from everyone else, from the treetops, but now I'm in the trenches,
Yeah.
and I'm like I got to be in there. So to be in there, I need to be present enough to actually not give them what I've seen other people go through. Like I want to make sure that they know, like they know
Mm.
who their dad is. They know that their dad loves them. They know their dad's gonna protect them, provide, problem solve, pray for. Like they need to know who their dad actually is, and I'm not ashamed to like and also to know that their dad has emotions, right? Like I think because that's the thing that I missed out on. I think that my dad was like a robot. Like he, he was
You
just
mentioned that he was there for those
he was
things,
there, but
but he wasn't present.
he wasn't present. So I think that having the emotional availability for my daughters, I think, is important so that they can see how a man is supposed to show up for them. And I
Yeah,
think that
you
is
get
important.
mad love, and men are watching this and growing from this, and daughters are watching this, saying this is what you look for, not only in a father but in a husband. There's a couple
Yeah,
of
man.
things I want to touch on, like you talked about patience. All right, Jack, how did you develop patience for triplets? And I'm gonna tell you how I failed last night. All right, so y'all know Jack has three triplets. I also have three children, but spread out, right? So we have a soon-to-be 16-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-month-old son. So two daughters and a son. And our daughter was Trinity, his 5-year-old, was doing homework, and
Mhm.
she was doing nickels and pennies. All you had to do is count. You see, I'm already going. All you had to do was count the nickels and the pennies, right? And she kept making the pennies 5 cents. So she kept getting the question wrong. I was like, the brown is 1, silver's 5. All right. And she
Yeah,
kept
yeah,
doing the
yeah.
brown one is 5. Man, I was like, well, you can't see that brown is. And she started crying. She looked at me and
Ooh,
started crying.
ooh,
Man, because I was really
mm.
frustrated because I thought this homework was going to be honest. I don't know about the other dads. I don't like homework. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I thought I was trying to get through the homework in 10 minutes, Jack, right? And when we got to like minute 28, I was like, the brown one is a penny. The nickel is 5. What part of that are you not? So I Mecca came over to me and said, "Baby, you're killing her confidence."
Ooh,
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
ooh,
yeah.
ooh.
And we've had that come because I've rescued Mecca many a night. Right,
Mhm,
right. I just
mhm.
got up. I just got up and said, "Yeah, I'm sorry." But let me tell you what Trinity did. I was so disgusted in myself. I went to bed early. I was like, "You talk about that guilt."
Yeah,
Here I am trying to build up her self-esteem. Right, president of the PTA. Right, right. All this stuff, and I broke my own daughter down some nickels and pennies. It's not common sense. It's not
yeah,
common sense when you keep
yeah.
doing it. 5 and 6 and adding this up. It's not common sense. Make a long story short, she came into the room. And this is all God. She says, "Daddy, I'm gonna do better tomorrow." And I
Mm,
said, "Trinity, I did badly. You don't know how to count. It's why we're learning it. I
right.
should have been more patient. I should always build you up. Can Dad apologize for being a bad dad? I'm gonna do better
That's
tomorrow."
that's good.
And she said, "Daddy, you were just trying to get me to be better." And I wouldn't let it ride. I
Hmm.
said, "No, eh, Daddy owes you an apology for not being patient." So
That's good.
today I got off work earlier. I canceled my last appointment, Jack, because I realized what it was. The patience was gone. And
Yeah.
I worked with her. She got all of them right today.
Oh
You
man,
know?
that's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. She said she was about to be through with me. She was about to say, I was going to call Papa, right?
That's
So how did you
incredible.
develop patience? Because you're on a whole nother level. You have 3 at the same time. How do you
Yeah,
develop that level of patience, my brother? Where does it come from?
I'm learning. I mean, it's a day-to-day process. I think I have the incredible opportunity. So I told my wife, I said, look, we found out we were having triplets. I said, look, this is going to be an incredible obstacle to overcome. It's going to be incredibly taxing on you emotionally and physically, right? So I said, you have the babies, I'm gonna make sure that I do my part.
Mm.
Like, and when I said do my part, I said, look, and I hindsight, I shouldn't have said this out of one, but I said I will get up and do nights for the babies. You have them, I will do nights with these babies. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about feeding them when they get up and they cry and all. I'm gonna do nights every night. It's me. I got this. Cause I figured I ain't really do nothing. I ain't do much. I mean,
Right, right.
I did my part, but you carried them. So when you talk about patience, I'm like, I think the thing that I learned was every night I'm taking care of three little
That's
girls.
phenomenal.
And I'm talking about they were preemies. So
I remember.
the fragileness of them was like very, but for me, this was my chance in my, because I'm gonna tell you, like, people don't talk about this really. I don't know how much time we got, but people don't talk about this.
Come on, it's straight mental. Let's
Yeah,
go.
they don't talk about this. Like as men, I didn't feel connected to my kids when they came out. When they came out, I'm like, who is this alien? Like who, who, who are you? Like where's you? But I didn't feel like women have the opportunity and chance to actually connect because they have something growing inside of them, and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, I was there. I was rubbing on the baby, the belly and all that kind of stuff. I was trying to connect, and I couldn't. Like when it came out, I was just like, eh, okay. But I don't have that nurturing side that women have. So I said, well, I gotta be able to connect to them. So I think being with them at night, every night, feeding, changing, burping, um, holding, coddling, whatever you want to call it, it helped me to try to connect to them in a way that she was already connected to them.
It's
And
about time. Mm-hmm.
so the patience came from really not knowing what to do, really, really sleeping for 2 3 hours a night, and having the patience came from the appreciation of God giving me a chance to actually connect to them in a way that I don't think most men had a chance and opportunity to do because one, we're not nurturers, and they don't come from us, but they don't you know, we don't birth them.
Yeah, they're not inside. We're not
Yeah,
responsible for
yes,
their day-to-day life.
yeah, but the patience, man, I think it was a daily dose of me really discovering I can actually I think being up at night, realizing that like they were up every 2 hours. Like I got to feed them, I got to burp them, bathe them, and all that every 2 hours.
All three at the same time.
All three at the same time. I don't really think about it because I don't know anything
I
different.
am. I'm thinking about it for
I
you.
know, but you know what? I don't know anything different. I mean, it's like once you
Good
get the
point.
routine and the system, it's just being consistent about the system, and you feed one, uh, you get them up, you burp them, put them back to sleep. Do the same thing with the other, put it back to sleep, and it's just a system. It's like an assembly line. But having that opportunity to be there, like be present, be really really connected, and at night, man, everything is still,
That's true.
right? Like everything is nothing's moving, nothing, like you're not getting phone calls. You have nothing to do but focus. It's almost like being in a jail cell, solitary confinement. There ain't nobody there but you and God. And I felt like it was just me, God, and them. And all I had to do was focus on the task that I had in hand, which was I need to be gentle, which I'm heavy-handed. I'm an outside type dude, so I'm heavy-handed. But being gentle because they were premature babies, learning how to wipe and change and all.
Mm-hmm.
It took. I think my patience was on like 10 versus just having like this. frustrated or I don't think I had a frustrated approach. I had like a real patient approach with learning how.
Jack, you said we're not nurturers, but then you just talked about being nurturing. So you're
Man,
actually debunking that because in in the parenting role, you made the deal with your wife that not with one, not with two,
yeah,
but with three daughters, three children, to make sure that they're taken care of and they are well taken care of, Jack. So
yeah.
when we talk about Dear Father Straight Mental, we're breaking stereotypes.
Mm,
There's a study out that shows that the amount of nurturance, kisses, hugging, affection that you give your child from birth to two
hmm.
influences how well they do in school at age 5.
Wow.
What they're looking for is something called warmth. Do the
Hmm.
kids feel warmth from a parent?
Mm,
All right. And we have traditionally said that's on mom.
yeah,
That's on the woman. That's on our
yeah,
wife. That's on the girlfriend, right?
yeah.
And what you are showing is that no, that's any parent, and it's especially important for fathers. Jack, did you
Mm,
know? And you do know this, but dear fathers, did you know that a girl's most important relationship is with the mother or the father? Which one do you think it is? The most important relationship to a girl's development is the mother, the father. It's the dad.
it's dad.
You would think it would be mom because they talk all the time and this is who they were being. But when they look at girls' confidence, it
Mm,
is her relationship to her father and how warm she feels because it is affirmation and validation. I'm her.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm her. Because you don't have to do anything. Your girls don't have to do anything to stand out. They can be in a gym full of 100 girls. You're looking for your three.
That's it.
It doesn't matter how tall or how short,
Yeah.
whatever. They can come in double last. You'd be like, yeah, those my three right there. And that number 97, 98, 99. That's them right there. The 100
That's my
girls.
baby.
Those my babies. Those are my. All right, so let me do this before we go get you out of here because I promised you an hour, and I know Dear Fathers community is tapped in with us. This has been amazing, Jack. Let me ask you this because this is not only are you nurturing and your fans are locking in. They said you're great with systems. The SEA clan is say
Oh, we
what's
got
up, New York.
SEA
Yeah,
here. Okay.
they
Right
comment,
on, y'all.
brother.
Right on.
They comment. Jack, one of the things I admire about you, and I am emulating, I mean, I'm in the process of emulating you, is you not only are present, but you also make, I'm gonna be humble for you, you make a lot of money. And you don't spend a lot of time. Like you're not one of these dads that has to fly every place to make it work. You're not on call.
Mm-hmm.
Was that intentional? What's the mindset that men, because you're here and a lot of men, what's the mindset for having multiple currencies? I've heard you talk about it. Time, peace of mind, and finances so that you can be the kind of husband and father you want to be without spending 80, 90, hours a week making the money that you do.
Yeah, I always had a philosophy, even when I was young, uh, absentee businesses. Now, what does that mean? I loved business opportunities that didn't require me to actually be there to earn money. And when I was younger, I mean, even like, from party promotions to, um, so when I was, I'll say it like this. So when I was 25, I bought a business that I didn't do. I was working full time
Mm-hmm.
at a corporate job, but I knew that I didn't want to be there forever. So in order to get out of that corporate job, I knew I needed to buy things that earned revenue but didn't require me to actually be there. So I bought a laundromat.
I
I
didn't know
bought,
that. Okay.
yeah, I bought a laundromat that ran itself. Uh, I figured out how to do it. I didn't know anything about the business. I just knew that it didn't require me to be there. I was actually looking into buying car washers. I put notes under everybody's door. Nobody would answer me. They'd be like, go on, dude. You ain't got time. I ain't got time for you. But the funny thing is everybody that owned a car wash owned a laundromat. I said, well, it's the same type of business. They all collect quarters. It's a cash business. So I bought this laundromat, put cameras up. It was self-sufficient. The door locked and unlocked on its own. The only thing I needed to do was to go in and sweep and mop and clean the laundromat.
Mm-hmm.
I did that at like 4 a.m. in the morning. Did well, learned that business, bought another one. The next year, bought another one the next year. So now I got a chain of laundromats. I got a chain of laundromats that are generating like thousands of dollars on a weekly basis. Same thing with real estate. Real estate, I don't have to be there. I can pay someone else to actually to manage the properties and do the work that I don't have to be there. So I bought one apartment building, bought another apartment building, another apartment building. And those things just kept earning revenue and cash. And I treated that philosophy of absentee ownership the same way for 20 years, right? Like it's the same philosophy. So whether it's purchasing businesses or whether it's purchasing stocks or anything that generates an income or revenue, but doing things that don't require like you to work harder, but just work smarter. And even from the sense of like I'm at a point now, man. I tell you now, like I think this is important conversations for brothers to know. Like right now, my money works for me.
Yeah.
Like I put money to work for me. Like I don't have to leave anymore or do anything anymore. Like money actually works for me. Now I still work, still like, there's still programs and clients that we still see and do those types of things. But realistically, money does the work right now. And I think it's just working smarter versus harder so that you can position yourself to actually be present and not like work. Because I know sometimes as men we get, we find our value through work.
Yeah.
And, our identity through work. I think that I worked hard enough so that I can fall back enough to actually be present.
Yeah.
And
Listen.
I think that, and I know I keep saying that
Well,
word.
Jack, no, what I see is the comments, like they're like, how could I learn from you? Jack, how do they, um, we'll get there, we're going to wrap up, but Jack, just keep that, like where you want to send them, because the brothers and sisters are chiming in, right? And Jack has no problem with telling y'all how to get in contact with them and how to learn. But what I see is the evolution, as I bow tie this, what I see is the evolution of you learning from your dad, who did show you entrepreneurship, right? And showed you how to do things you talked about outside, heavy hand. But you evolved into being a nurturer, a present husband and father. We didn't even get to talk about how present you are in supporting your wife and her dreams, right?
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, I know, and we'll have to do this again. So
Yeah.
Jack, what I gleaned and what I took is when you start talking about absentee businesses, and the fact that it allows you to be present with your daughters and your wife. I want to let you know that that had a personal impact on me. I felt that. If you felt that, drop that in the chat, because to me that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate fatherhood. Since we're talking about dear fathers, is being able to spend time with your kids when you want to. Money's coming in. And
Yeah.
money is never a reason why you can't spend time with your kids. I think that's every father's nightmare, is not being at the game, not being at the recital, not being able to help out with homework or building the derby car or whatever. We want to be present,
I watched this. I saw this. I'm a YouTube fanatic, so I watch YouTube like at night or when I'm on the toilet or something. We have
TMI, brother, but
whatever.
Open up about whatever you need to open up.
We talk. Right, we talk. All right. So, I mean, it's just some of the only me time that I actually have.
I'm talking about you, but I understand.
So I saw something that was really interesting. It was this kid was going around asking these millionaires that are in their 80s, like, what would they have done differently? And they were saying, like, some of the things that you think is not what they were saying. They were saying, I would have been more present for my children. I would have spent more time cultivating relationships with my family, or I wouldn't have worked so hard when my children were young. I wouldn't have missed so many games, or I wouldn't have like spent so much time at the office and with people that weren't my family, people that I didn't love or that I was just trying to impress. I would have, like they were, like the majority of them were saying, I would have been more present
Yeah.
with my family. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, these cats are like billionaires, millionaires. And I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. Like, and I think that as men, sometimes we miss the value. And I know that money sometimes is like a huge culprit of trying to be successful, trying to rock is and give and provide. But man, I can buy a toy for my girls. The toy costs like $200. Get the toy, put it in front of them. They play with it for like 5 minutes.
Right. Right.
And you know what they end up playing with? The box. they, they play with the box and they want to put the box on me. They want to play with the box on me. I'm like, but what about the toy? And I
Right.
think we work so hard for things that we think that our children actually want, but what they really want is us.
Man.
They
Yeah.
just want us. They want us to show them love, show them affection, to show them joy, and to just be present. And I
Man.
think that's important as men that we don't get into our own way of thinking that we have to do more for our children than we actually have to. Just show up, man.
The gift of time. That's
Yeah,
the gift of time.
yeah. Just
Jack,
show.
you've been phenomenal, brother. I mean, I know how busy you are. I appreciate you tapping in when I asked you to tap
Thank
in
you for having me, man.
yesterday.
Oh, this
I
is great.
appreciate I appreciate you.
We need to do more we need to do more talks like this. It's
We're
good.
going to, man, because, and people definitely want to they want to find out. So Jack, tell the people what you're working on and how they can learn more about you, because you don't see the comments, but brothers are being introduced to the concept of time and
Yeah,
money,
yeah,
right? And they don't have to sacrifice one for the other so that they can be the kind of fathers that they didn't have. In the beginning of this, we had brothers chime in, so their fathers were either not present or they are not present,
yeah.
right? Or they want to be the same or higher, um, higher version of the father that they had. And Jack,
Hmm.
you have accomplished that. Tell the people how they find you, how they work with you, what you have going on. Um,
Cool, man. Cool. So 3 ways actually. One, you can easily just go to Jack Daniels TV on Instagram or on any social media outlet. You can go to jackdaniels.tv and check out the website, but I think it's under construction right now, so don't go there too much. And then one of the big projects that I'm working on relaunching a project that I call Good Men. And Good Men is a dating service of we're trying to have one of the largest databases of good quality men looking for quality women in the country. We're on track to that. It's a lot of women that are saying, where are all the good men? There's no men out here that's looking to date. It's a dating service that actually is pairing some really great quality guys with quality women, because they say that good men don't exist, but we out here every single day. I meet them, I see them, and I'm trying to collect as many as I possibly can. So that you can go to goodman.tv to get on the waiting list for that. And and women too. You can go on and figure out how to date. But that's relaunching a little bit later this summer, and I'm excited about that. So that's what's like on the docket right now. That's on my mind, and that ain't an absentee business. I'm in that one.
Well, you know, yeah, and we know people that have gotten married as a result of that, and we know that you took time to be with your daughters. I'm glad to see you launching that, man. That was a special announcement for me, y'all. So JackDaniels.tv. What was the other one? The first one you said?
Just go Jack Daniels TV.
Yeah, Jack Daniels
Yeah, Jack
TV.
Daniels.
Instagram is blowing up.
Yeah.
Especially his YouTube. His brother is a TV brother, and you can see him actually raising his daughters. And what I like is that this is a versatile brother. I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and brag on him. This is a man that has the receipts, that has limitless income, partners with his wife who has limitless income, and they're able to to be together to raise brilliant children and still give back, and still Jack cares enough to get good men married, right?
Yeah.
Jack, myself and our buddy Kenny met on singles tour, right? Get
Yeah,
the
man.
relationship,
Yeah.
like all
Yeah.
three of us are married now. All three of us are married.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, because we knew the best way to find women is to teach them about dating, to pick the best one in the crowd. But anyway, that's a game we're not gonna talk about another day. That's a game on another level. Jack, I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate you being a faith-filled brother, a brother that
Thank you.
absolutely is on fire for God. I am excited about the future husbands for your daughters. They have a lot to measure
Slow
up
down,
to.
man. Slow down,
My
man.
my bad. You know, that's me, Jack. I put that out. I am definitely trying to marry both my daughters, brother. You know,
Ah.
to good men soon. Let them appear quickly and expeditiously. That's the only thing I worry about. I feel like money, I can give that to them, but a good man, oh man. So that they'll be signed up. They'll be signed up, brother. So if you have a
Okay.
junior edition,
Okay.
if you have a kindergarten and a high school edition,
Damn, man, you put them like
I'm
you put
signed
them
up
down the
early. Hey,
altar
listen,
already.
in other countries, man, they marry early. So people say I look mixed, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that tradition, and we're gonna arrange marriage. Anyway, no, Jack, thank you. Dear fathers, thanks you. Straight Mental. Listen, if y'all want to see more stuff like this, tune in every second Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dear fathers is bringing you that heat. You know, I'm committed when it's my slot. And here's a number of men doing this when it's my slot every second Tuesday. I'm sorry, of the month. I'm bringing you phenomenal fathers that I know have the receipts to change the narrative and upgrade the narrative. And Jack A. Daniels, you have done that, my friend. So we honor you. We thank you for your time. And we let you get back to the triplets. Or not. You can tell Marshawn this was a 3-hour
I mean, I'm going to
interview.
bed. I'm going
Oh,
to bed. No,
okay. All right. All right. Lay
this
down.
is actually past my bedtime.
All right, brother, I understand. You have a couple of hours to be up on all three. Hopefully this thing tonight. But Jack, I appreciate you. I celebrate you. And dear
Thank you, brother.
fathers, thanks you dearly. All right. All
Appreciate
right,
you.
y'all. All
Love.
right. Remember, Straight Mental, every second Tuesday of the month. We'll be back with another burner. We love y'all. Take care, dear fathers.